to take off from starbase.
Here we go. Yeah. Turn my sound down. I don't want to deafen you guys. There we go. And this is a prank. What?
Looks like the clock jumped back to T minus
Bruh.
40 seconds.
Bruh. Oh. Alright, we are so back. We are so back.
We encounter the same issue, but for now the clock is.
They held for like a minute 30. We are so back.
T-minus 10-second mark.
I have a bet wagering on this. This needs to launch. Oh, yes. Yes! They have a new UI. That's sick. Yes! Yes! Get fucked, idiot! Get fucked! I win the wager! I win the fucking wager! Ha! Get fucked! Oh, look at it. We actually get 4K now. Yeah! I love 4K, it's my favorite. The first reflown booster with 21 reflown Raptors. She's doing phenomenal.
Right over top of us, we see 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it starts to ascend skyward. Coming up on maximum aerodynamic pressure, then only about a minute and a half until we get into hot staging.
Wow, Dan, that was incredible. We could feel the building shaking here, feel the vehicle's power.
They painted the sides black, and then they did the heat shield. They actually tiled it off to make it smooth, which is sick. Starship is looking cleaner and cleaner by the day. We gotta hope it makes it through its entire suborbital insertion burn, though.
We're gonna see all but the 3 center.
I don't want to see it do Tokyo Mania. That would suck.
Our version of Miko, most engines cut off. And then just a few seconds later, hoping to see 6 engines ignite on ship to push it away. All right, hot staging, about 30 seconds.
Oh, it's rolling over.
And definitely keep an eye on which
going
way
flaps level.
Flips. First ever directional flip we're going for today should flip straight up.
Should be straight vertical.
See those engines powering down?
Booster engine cut off.
Beautiful.
Shipping.
On stage, vertical.
Stage separation.
Beautiful. Reignition of all. Gorgeous.
Flip by Super Heavy booster, and you can see those 6 engines. Those 3
oh
engines
yes.
on the ship ignited.
And the ship looks fine.
6 healthy Raptors running on ship on its way to space.
Whoa, that looks crazy. That looks crazy. God damn.
It is looking
chamber pressure is nominal.
It is looking absolutely incredible here in Hawthorne. As we said, 6 healthy engines on ship. We've got 13 out of 13 engines on the booster. Now down to those 3, which
down
is
to the 3. It's going to be a short 3.
Burn. Now, as a reminder,
we're going offshore this time.
Today. We are
yeah, there we go.
Shut down. And there we had a good
I would have been flawless though.
Burn. Next up will be
because the hot stage.
Ship avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Great call out there that everything looking nominal aboard the Super Heavy vehicle, which is returning to Earth, and we're going to be doing some experiments with it, including a higher angle of attack re-entry. as well as some.
Yeah, we gotta
engine
hope
tests
ship
as
makes it
gets
to
closer
Seco 1.
to the Gulf. We are, again, because of these tests not recovering it, we are sending it to the Gulf on purpose to do those tests. But again, you see the booster on the left-hand side of your screen. You see ship with 6 healthy engines continuing its ascent to its planned suborbital trajectory. Everything going very well so far for Starship's 9th flight. Now 4 minutes, 15 seconds in. Great
Oh, that's
views from
gorgeous.
inside of the aft engine area of ship there.
Such a
looking
beautiful
at
time of
those,
day.
3 sea level and 3 Raptor engines.
I don't think
on the
that's a
right-hand side of
fire
your
top
screen.
left.
The booster doing its LOX dump, that liquid oxygen dump. So because we don't need some of that liquid oxygen propellant in its tanks, we vent that propellant.
I'm not seeing
out
any
to lessen
fire
the
coming
booster's
out of the
mass as it
flaps
comes
either.
in for its landing.
Nothing's happening on the ship
Just
side.
absolutely
Good,
gorgeous
good.
views watching these two vehicles do their respective things in the skies over
Yeah, I'm
Texas
still
here
eyeing
today.
up top
And
left.
Dan, we're approaching the 5-minute mark into the flight. Super
Engines
Heavy is
look
descending
fine.
rapidly.
I'm unsure
What
about
can we expect
the
here in the next few minutes
third
as it
vacuum
does its
Raptor.
atmospheric tests?
Yeah, now as we had talked about, Super Heavy.
Yeah,
might
that
not have a
top
very
left
smooth
isn't
ride
looking
down.
good.
We're going to be putting it through this higher angle of attack.
I'm unsure if that's a vent or
pitching
that's
it up
like
a
an
tiny bit,
actual
increasing drag.
fire.
We've done this in wind tunnels. We've done this in computer modeling. It shows that sometimes the control isn't great, but only one way to really
Here
prove
comes
it
the
out, and that's
booster.
with real-world
This
data.
is
So
10
good
times
from
more
Super Heavy.
aggressive than they usually do,
It
so
should be
the booster
igniting
should
for
hopefully
its
survive.
landing burn in just about 40 seconds from now.
God, look at that.
And we are going
There's
to read
plasma.
13 engines, then bring that down to 3 engines. As we talked about earlier, we will be intentionally
Booster
shutting
FPS is
down.
saved.
We will be shutting down one of those 3 center engines intentionally.
So it's going to be,
to push the limits of the Super Heavy booster.
Ship Raptor. Chamber
pretty sure it's
pressures nominal.
12 down to 3 down to
We're
2.
continuing to see 6 healthy engines on the ship.
It's the 2 center rings.
3 sea level and 3 vacuum
Pretty sure it's
engines
12.
still ignited.
Oh no,
As
I'm
the
being an
Super Heavy
idiot.
booster is making its way back down to Earth.
We can see those grid fins
Okay.
doing some heavy work.
Oh shit, yep, there it goes. Oh
Ready
my
for our
god.
landing burn.
Yep. It fucking grenaded itself. Jesus. That was good though. That was good. We get data. Good
We
data.
would have ended with that landing burn. Does look like we lost telemetry.
Okay, the ship
From the
is
booster,
still
once we started
going.
into
If
that
we get to
landing
Seco
burn.
1, this is gonna be huge.
Did you hear confirmation that the booster did demise?
Dude, the booster fucking
So the booster's
grenaded
flight
itself.
ending before it was able to get
Those
to a
poor
landing burn,
fish.
But again, we are not bringing that back. We're expecting it to make a hard splashdown in the
Okay.
Gulf. We were getting live data back the entire time. Through that
Engines
high
are
angle of
still
attack
looking
flight,
alright.
so that was something that was really vital for us to get during this reuse. First free flight of booster in the books. All right, ship has about 2 minutes left.
Oh no. Fucking the right Raptor has
And
some
in about 2
slight
minutes,
glowing
we
on the
expect
nozzle.
All 6 Raptor engines to shut down. That will be Seco.
It's on the
basically
cooling
second
transfer
engine,
pipe.
Second stage engine shut off. And these are some incredible views, Dan, from the aft end of the ship. Watching as the engines stay ignited.
Oh, don't
with the
tear
Earth in
yourself
background.
apart, please, engine.
As always, the Starship.
Please,
avionics
don't
team
grenade.
checks.
Don't grenade, please.
I think we
Make
just
it to
heard
Seco.
the booster. But all right, we got about a minute left into this burn. All eyes definitely on ship as we get through the final stages.
Please,
to
make it.
Ascent. We're
Block
expecting
2,
it
come on.
to
Block
start to
2,
cut
come on,
those
do it.
engines off
That is glowing.
in about 45 seconds.
That is actively glowing. We just need to hope it gets to shutdown and doesn't blow up before then. Or blow up on shutdown.
All right, just about 30
It's doing
seconds
good.
to
It's
go.
definitely glowing now. Please, come on.
Guidance.
Raptor, hold yourself.
Final stages of this Ascent burn.
There we go, shutdown.
We did see shutdown of the Raptor engines.
That's good. What
We
about
do
center
stagger
3?
These, so we do the Raptors first, Those 3 have shut down successfully.
Okay, that's good.
Sea levels still running.
And
Ship engine cut off.
holy shit. We are so back. We are so back.
Ship engine
Nominal
cut off,
insertion.
the 3 most beautiful words in the English language.
And great call out that we had nominal insertion.
Yeah!
An incredible flight test.
So it's going to be
so far today.
reorienting for Starlink deploy
We
here.
flew a super heavy booster for the very first time in 9 test flights. Ship is in its orbital trajectory. Again, it's going to remain suborbital for its mission today. But it ignited
Ship
all,
FPS is saved.
it ignited all 6 of its engines and made it all the way through SECO just now.
Oh, we are so back.
What a moment. Huh.
Incredible.
All right,
And
but I
we
mean,
got-
that's... Ooh, still lots to come for the rest of this flight. Per usual, I need to collect myself. Hey, Chris, how's it going over there in Hawthorne, man? How's everybody doing?
I think the elation and the excitement and the happiness at what we just saw achieved carried through across all of our sites. What an incredible view to see Starship back orbiting the Earth just under 11 minutes into our mission. Absolutely exciting to see all of this, and super pumped especially to see all of the team's hard work in action here today. As guaranteed, it has been an exciting evening so far for Starship's 9th test flight. We lifted off a little bit after 6:30 p.m. after a couple of holds that were triggered at the T-minus 40-second mark, but we were able to clear those, one on the Raptor, one on the tower, and we were able to lift off successfully from Starbase. 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on the Super Heavy, all 6 engines lit on Ship, bringing it to its planned suborbital trajectory around Earth. But as Dan said, we've got a lot still coming up in our flight sequence. So coming up at about T plus 18 minutes, 26 seconds, we'll have the first deployment of simulated Starlink satellites planned from Starship. That will be followed at about T plus 37 minutes and 49 seconds by the relight of a single Raptor sea level engine in space. This is going to help us gather data on our ability to do a deorbit burn for future Starship missions that will go orbital. And then, of course, one of the biggest tests yet to come is the new heat shield modifications to Starship. And that'll start with re-entry into Earth's atmosphere at about the T plus 45-minute mark, which should take about 16, 18 minutes to complete. And now today's re-entry is going to test that heat shield like we said. Specifically, how Starship will hold up to 100 missing heat shield tiles on its thermal protection system. Now, we purposely took those 100 tiles off over very critical areas of the vehicle to be able to safely test on a flight like this suborbital trajectory into the Indian Ocean what might happen on an operational flight
Maybe jelly.
in those areas if we were to
Oh
lose
God,
the
if I
primary
could
heat
speak,
shield
I may be
tile on
jellyfishing
Starship.
right
So
now.
very critical test coming up. And then after that, we'll have the final descent where we will.
I don't think
again
it's
be
that
pushing
big where
Starship
people will be able to
its
see
limits.
it,
We
but
definitely
who
pushed
knows?
the
We may
booster to
actually
its
get some
limits
ground
to be able
shots
to
of
gather
this.
data, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing on
Which will
that
be
ship,
gas.
seeing how the ship handles various flight
All right,
conditions
I'll be
that we
back
will
at
need to fly in as we
Starlink
look to one
deploy.
day soon bring.
All right, I have returned to quite the event. So, I don't think we had a reline to the Raptor, and the Starlinks have not been deployed due to the door being jammed, and we lost attitude control due to several tank leaks. Now we are witnessing Starship re-enter the opposite direction. So it should be beautiful. And boy, is it at least entertaining.
All right, so we are 42 minutes and change into today's flight test. You're seeing the light shows start as Starship is getting closer to its reentry. If you're just tuning in, we were able to successfully make it to orbit. Run into a couple of issues as we've coasted to our entry point over the Indian Ocean. At this point, we had lost attitude control of the ship and entered into a spin. The team made the call to do what's called passivate the vehicle, so we're essentially venting all of the remaining propellant overboard, and it's going to make an uncontrolled reentry. Important to note, this is a contingency that is planned for, and we clear the zones in the Indian Ocean where these entries could take place. So we're not going to come down exactly where we would have had nothing happened, but we do clear a tremendous amount of space out in the Indian Ocean in the event that we run into this. We understand that
beautiful.
there are always risks essentially with these flight tests with the hardware, but we don't really accept any compromise when it comes to protecting people.
And it is one thing to note is we will actually still re-enter in our planned airspace zone, which is good. That is exactly what we planned for. You know, we do plan for if something does go a little bit off nominal, that we have enough airspace cleared out for situations just like this.
Yeah, re-entry is still just that really critical phase that we need to try and gather as much data, as much information as possible. Is a fully reusable heat shield has never been flown before, history of space flight, and that's something that Starship still has to crack. And so we had a whole range of experiments on this one at this point, and we just started to lose some of our cameras, so it's very possible that we'll start to lose contact with Starship a lot sooner than we would have if it was a nominal reentry.
And that's specifically due to the way the plasma kind of folds around the vehicle. Is if it's entering on the right angle, then the antennas, I do not believe, are blocked by the plasma shields and shit like that. So, because plasma just, it hates communication and it hates it so much.
Second flight today, it first flew on flight 7, and it made it all the way to.
This is huge, though. This is huge.
All the engines and stage separation, getting ship into its suborbital trajectory today.
Like this was better than the last two, that's for sure.
It did demise at that point. We did plan to fly it back down to Earth at a higher angle of attack, and we do expect it to stress the vehicle a lot more than what we've seen previously. So it's not unexpected that we did lose the booster before we got to the actual landing.
Yeah. So we're gonna continue to hang out and see if we get any updates on ship. It does look like we might be getting some video back soon. There we go. So
oh, look at it go.
View, essentially,
that's on the dorsal side.
On the top part of Starship, you're looking up at the payload bay and towards the nose cone. So views are going to be a little bit scarce potentially, as, again, we are in essentially a tumble. We had lost that attitude control. So Starlink, when it's able to connect, able to feed this down. We are at the phase where we would expect entry to start within the next minute or so.
God, that looks
so
crazy.
We are entering uncontrolled, but again, we're entering into an airspace and a sea space that is cleared and monitored in advance of launch and before we get to this phase.
And with the views that we are able to see, you are seeing a lot of that plasma build up.
Oh, look at that flap, Jesus.
About 1400 degrees Celsius, and there you can see the flap feeling that temperature there.
It's getting torn up.
Melting away. But as we expected with the spinning of the vehicle, we are no longer controlling the attitude of the vehicle.
Oh my.
This is now, at this point in the test flight, it is expected to see
this is crazy.
Begin to demise a little bit on its way back down to Earth.
Yeah. And so we'll stick with it for as long as we're kind of getting any reach back from the ship as it starts to make this re-entry. But yeah, so it's re-entering actively right now. And again, we did do what's called passivation. So you essentially vent all of your excess propellant overboard before you hit the atmosphere. That's a safety measure we can take.
Yeah, and I think they just lost telemetry.
With it. So that was done. It's now coming down in the predetermined hazard area that was cleared ahead of flight. Not controlled, so we're not going to get all of that reentry data that we're still really looking forward to. This is kind of a new generation of ship. It has different flaps, improved heat shield, a whole lot of things that we're really trying to really put through the ringer. As there's a whole lot we still need to learn before we get to kind of the next step that we're hoping for, which is going to be that ship going orbital and eventually coming back here for a catch. So getting through one of these fully is going to be really important. It's not going to be today, but we are just going to stick with the ship, see what else we can learn as it makes its way through the atmosphere and brings an end to the 9th flight test. So we'll stick with it.
Alright, well, I think they lost telemetry, so I shall be ending my coverage here. Of course, go check out the stream replay on SpaceX's official Twitter, or X for you stingy people out there. And yeah, pretty good flight. Beat some milestones we did last time. Watched the booster get turned into a 12 gauge shotgun shell. Absolute gorgeous, honestly. Couldn't have been prettier. And yeah, some good milestones. Alright, I'll see you guys later. See ya!